Hi, welcome to another IAS analysis, trailer analysis. Today we're going to be breaking down the Callisto Protocol Red Band trailer, specifically the Red Band trailer because it's more or less the same as the VGA trailer, but with more gore and stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get started. So just immediately, the only thing that you should be focusing your attention on is the right-hand side of the wall. Just flat out Dead Space reference right there for two particular characters in the franchise.
John Carver and Isaac Clarke.
Yep. Another thing that people pointed out here is that the handbook is also written by Ellie. I only noticed the fact that it was when I was originally just watching this trailer on my own time, that the handbook is the engineer's handbook, which is another little like nod to Dead Space because he plays an engineer. But I think it's also pretty cool that they have a little reference to Ellie as well.
Hey man, get up.
So right about here we got like just random ass dude, happens to be barefoot, but as he's walking in his own prison cell, seems to be wearing shoes somehow. I don't know why. But really cool little effect here with the whole like hologram stuff, and then I kind of want to talk to you guys about the little health bar. Like, how do you feel about the look of that in comparison to like the health bar from like Dead Space?
I honestly prefer the spine because it's obviously easier to look at. Because that looks too small for the health bar, you know. Because I'm not gonna be paying attention to his neck a lot of times because it's that small area versus his whole back.
Well, I'm wondering
It's
if
definitely a nice little nod to Dead Space. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's a nice little nod to Dead Space, but it is. I mean, obviously, it is different because it can't be the same as Dead Space. But I do like it as a nice little feature.
I think it's kind of cool that it's attached to like their physical body, but maybe I don't know if there's going to be like an armor system where if you put armor over top of it, then it'll be more like bigger, like it was in Dead Space.
Yep.
I kind of liked the look of it.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I liked the look of it. It did take me a second to realize that was like the health bar. As mentioned before, it is a little smaller, so it may be harder to focus in on when you're like in the middle of battle or something like that. In my opinion, but it looks. Hopefully, it'll be vibrant enough for us to like draw our eye to kind of just like do a quick, "Hey, am I okay?"
I'm thinking maybe that like at least for like the prisoner that might be the case, but like for the actual player, like we're probably gonna have like some kind of like body armor and stuff, so and maybe it won't be like this small little thing that's like screwed into the back of like just a regular like civilian or security guard's like neck, as opposed to, you know, again, a prisoner. Where it seems like that's just like that is just literally like screwed into the back of his neck. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit play. So, like here we're getting a good look at the security drone that's getting like all fucked up. Not sure if like the unit number has anything like significant Like it could just be just a random number, but it could have like some significance. Like maybe we're gonna have to like deal with some of these as we're like going through like this like prison per se, if we're even going through the prison, because you know, teaser trailers could be misleading as well.
Yeah, I wanted to say that it was kind of crazy at how much like technology based stuff there was in terms of like holograms, like giant robots, and then like a weird organic alien thing. It was kind of, it was like a lot to unpack in a short amount of time.
Mm. Oh, by the way, feel free to stop me at any point in this trailer if you guys like notice something that I might not have. So, are we good to move on?
I'll say one thing though. The thing is,
Yeah.
these things remind me of the reboot RoboCop by design for a little bit. It's all clad in black with the red lights going through the visor.
Hmm.
That's it. Here you go, bitch boy.
You see this? Something ain't right.
I gotta say I do love that bit where the hologram just starts fucking up and he's just like, please be calm, and there's just you got this hulking fucking like alien mutation standing right behind him ready to like kill him, like yeah, I'll be calm. Like
Right. Don't freak out.
right here
Yeah.
we do get a pretty good view of the like this mutation thing. I don't know what to call it. Like, is it an alien? Is it like some kind of like mutated person? Like,
It's a safe bet that it's going to be in the same vein of a necromorph, just obviously not a necromorph.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
But this design actually does remind me of something out of like Evil Within, particularly the second one, just a little bit more grotesque. I am digging it.
I see. I am kind of reminded of forget the name of the enemy in Evil Within 1, but it's the one that has the split personality, so it like grows like two faces. So it's kind of the same deal going around here. Because you got like one face like on this side, then the other face on this side. It might just be the same face, and it just like mutated. But then again, he's got like the bridge of his nose growing here, and then his original nose there. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Got, like 3 rows of like a lower jaw here. Like,
See all those teeth?
like what is going on, Chief?
And then he got those spores around his body too. Like, ugh.
Yeah, like an obscene amount of like, I don't know, like jerk off muscle over here. Like, I don't know what is going on. So, but is there anything else before I go on and click play?
No, you good.
Don't think so.
I say, are those
Oh.
eyes right there? Yeah.
Eyes
Okay. Right above his like jaw. You see that yellowish spot? It looks like an eye.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's a lot
He's got
going
a
on with this guy.
fucking mouth. Like, what is going on, my guy?
Got like a
just
smaller mouth
reminded-
inside.
It reminded me a whole lot of Alien, like the movie.
Yeah.
A little mouth.
It almost
Yeah.
makes me
Like,
wonder. It almost makes me wonder if some of them, like the longer they're alive, the more they're gonna mutate or something. Because this guy seems like he mutated a few times.
Yeah. It and it's like I think that's a good point too, because like this guy was asleep the whole time, and then he woke up to like not knowing what the fuck happened over the time that he was asleep. And
Right.
somehow he managed to live up until this point. So it's like, yeah, maybe a good few hours, and you know, the more that stays untouched, undamaged, it goes even further. So I could definitely see that. So this is like actually the first time we've seen like this, because in the VGA trailer that happened like about a week ago or so, we didn't see all this because gore and violence. But yeah, like they got this whole like alien thing going. Here's a bunch of fucking tubes going into fucking people's throats and shit, and they're getting all like fucked up. It's kind of like a parasite in a sense too, though. But
This would be a throwback to that enemy in Dead Space 1, 2, I think he's in 1 and 3, where he can infect corpses or other people at will by sticking like
Yeah.
some parasite in them.
I was thinking.
oh
of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Oh, you see his mouth split open too a little bit from the all that thing in his mouth.
Oh yeah, like right about here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, hold on, because I'm gonna try to get it on the frame. Actually, it's not splitting open.
Oh no, it's infection.
That's actually like the tentacle, like, well, that is coming out of his like the side of his fucking mouth. But then like all of this is like that's not
That's
part of his
infection
body.
right there.
That's all this
cool.
shit.
That shit looks really damn cool.
Yeah, and like that looks really fucking weird because I'm trying to like get a like good view of all this.
We're doing slow mo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's infection. Is it part of the alien? Like, is it?
Well, it's clear he's trying to infect him though, because you literally see the some weird veins pulsating out of his body as the tentacles keep getting deeper.
See, I was wondering if that was kind of maybe part of the tentacles from the inside of his mouth, but I don't know, because it looks very strange as well for it to be an infection, but I'm not sure.
It almost looks like it's like under his skin or something.
You know what this kind of looks like? There's like this. I don't know the name of the like thing. I guess it's like a worm, but like there's like this like worm secret.
The raven worm.
Yeah, like it like spits out like all this like veiny shit. Like that's what this
Yeah.
looks like. Like
Yeah.
all this like is coming out of the ends of the tentacles, right? And like that's just there more so to like maybe like I don't know, like infect the pores of this guy's like face or something like that, or skin.
I was gonna say, because it does kind of look like it's sitting on top as opposed to happening from, I guess, within.
Yeah. Yeah. Right in the fucking eye.
Oh,
like
nice.
That part definitely freaked me out.
yeah.
That is gnarly. Oh.
I love how unremorseful this thing is. It is very accurate to how a parasite is. It doesn't care. It's just going in.
It just takes over the body.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so we got a bunch of this like security like footage here. What I find interesting is that this is the only camera facing this particular like cell. And when you look around these other like cameras here, like on the left and right, like these are different areas. And
Yeah.
it's unclear whether or not this is supposed to be like partially a prison and partially like a lab or something else. Like, because like this right here, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor or not on the stream. I'm assuming you guys can.
Yeah, we can.
So like this right here on the bottom left corner here, looks like a bunch of like maybe like bags of meat or something, just being like strung up on a conveyor belt. But then like I don't know, like this other one right here looks like on the opposite.
It's like a lab for some type of facility.
Like a lab or like a hospital or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like it's very, very uncertain as to like, is this really a prison or is it like some kind of weird like facility?
Well, it might be that it might be a facility though, but it clearly has its prison. It might be a detention center or a rehabilitation center. But it could also be used as a front to like do experiment on, because judging from this angle, this looks like a type of mastermind type angle. Like maybe this person purposely release this wherever this is out and see if people here can survive it.
Yeah. So, and we kind of get a more of a view, like right up here as well, more different areas. This one's a little bit harder to see, but it kind of looks like an altar room of sorts up in the top corner. And here's our but here's our mastermind of sorts. So yeah, a bunch of different views of different areas that we could potentially be going to, or at least having to deal with. And maybe we're gonna have somebody who's overseeing stuff and really not caring whether or not like our protagonist actually makes it through alive.
This is Black Iron to transport ship Charon. You are cleared for landing.
So I wanted to put it here because I don't know if you can see like out in the distance there's just like a bunch of vehicles out like driving in this like distance out here. I'm not sure if they're like trying to get to the prison itself. It might be like an underground prison. This little bulb facility could be it. But then there's also this huge ass tower as well, so we don't really know.
Well, it could be like a miniature city.
Yeah, it could be. It looks like there's a mining operation of sorts over here in the bottom, which I thought was kind of interesting. Really
It definitely
cool.
seems intentionally isolated. Like it's very, very sparse, and it's like out of the way of everything else.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This still takes place on a moon, right? On
Yes.
Yes. It takes
Okay,
place
so-
on a moon outside of
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupiter. Yeah.
So yeah, like I have a feeling that someone would be really secretive if they had this shit on the moon, you know.
Which, ironically enough, if you look at the like game description, the game's called Callisto Protocol, and where this is taking place is on the moon of Callisto. The name of the moon is Callisto,
Yeah.
so it's like very. I guess I want to say it's like very like specific and like convenient in the sense of like, hey, there's a protocol on this moon. Perhaps there's some shit that's going down. Maybe we just kind of do like some really shady shit on this moon and nobody's gonna ever find out because it's just a really desolate fucking place.
Well, the other thing with it is it looks like it's not like it doesn't look like there's citizens living there. Like there's no water, there's no like it's not like they're putting agriculture up there. It's just very minimalistic, like prison type of feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of going with the idea it might be like a prison vibe. Like they just send people up there and mine and stuff like that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Or do experiments on them and stuff.
I do like that there's also another moon off in the distance here that you can see right next to the actual planet right above. That would be really cool to like just see in gameplay if you just happen to like look up at like any of the scenery.
Wow, 2 years off.
So, and I just wanted to stop right here really quick because I didn't particularly notice this, and I still can't tell, but a lot of people that have watched this trailer claim that like that little like tune at the very end is like a subtle like remix of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star from like Dead Space. I don't particularly hear it, but again, some people do. So it is just something to point out.
I didn't get back listening to it personally to judge it.
Mm-hmm. And there's our friend from earlier. Really fucked up skull here. It's like halfway gone, deformed.
He got some
Looks like
ooze around his body.
Busted jaw.
Yeah. You see how fucked up his like mouth is too. Like a lot of his teeth are like broken or like jagged now.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely makes it seem like it's like extremely fast acting, like it's almost instantaneous that they're infected.
Yeah. Yeah, like see some of this doesn't look like that happened just from like breakage. That happened as per the
Yeah.
mutation.
That was part of the infection mutation thing. Yeah.
He even missing his
like,
eye too.
Some of these bottom ones, they look like they were definitely like broken to bits. But like these right here, like right at the top, definitely looks like that's the case. And really, really interesting is his eye looks like it's gone blind here.
It's
right
very
side.
cloudy.
Or, actually, I'm sorry, that's the left side. But yeah. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this little like sliver here too. I don't know what the hell that is, but
that might be his other eye. Because remember, it was pushed back from one of the tentacles.
Yeah. Not sure if that's gonna be like at least on his face like vein still, or potentially like smaller tentacles like running in his face, but that'll be interesting to see once the full game comes out with more of this. And that was
It almost
much it.
It almost looked too like his pupils were like completely dilated to the point where his eyes were like black.
Mm.
So I don't know what the deal with that is.
That was the Red Band trailer. But with that, we do have a few questions to kind of talk about because there is a little bit more information. For the recording's sake, I do want to bring up the fact that when this trailer dropped, I was not aware of the fact that the lead developer for this, who's also the creator of Dead Space, was in a Discord call answering questions, and I was unfortunately asleep at the time that was happening, so I was not able to ask more questions to get potentially more information out of this. But I did want to bring up some topic discussions about this game and some things that we might be skeptical of and things of that nature. So I'm going to read off number 1. I'm hoping that everybody has the doc open, or at least some people do, so that way we can read off these questions. But anyway, let's address the elephant in the room. How do you feel about this game being set 300 years after the PUBG, like after PUBG within that universe? Will this be something that steers you away from giving this game a shot?
No, honestly, like it could be in the same universe though, but clearly not a battle royale game, and this is going to be more, single player focus. So it's not going to deter me from playing the game. However, though, it is weird that it takes place in the PUBG universe, because I know like the publisher, owns the PUBG company that developed PUBG, of course. But it's weird to even establish it as canon towards that universe, because does PUBG even have lore behind it, other than you going around and shoot people?
That I don't know.
That's something I was going to say. I didn't think there was any lore behind PUBG, and I haven't actually played it, so I'm not aware of any of it. But I mean, that's not going to stop me from probably getting this and playing it. I'm not going to steer away from it just because it's part of the PUBG universe. Set 300 years after is a bit weird, but because you don't really know a scale of reference for when PUBG is set. But I mean, I'll still play it.
I wonder if they're almost making the assumption that like the people that are in the whole PUBG thing are also like these prisoners that are fighting each other for freedom or something like that. I don't know. It seems like a stretch. It's kind of weird.
Like a legit battle royale, but infection.
Right.
Oh wait, are the people on this moon the ones that got the The winner chicken dinner.
That's her reward.
If that's it, I wanna play it.
I think Versa, you were trying to say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I don't really know much about PUBG because it's not a game that I would play, but it definitely doesn't steer me away from wanting to play this game. I
Hmm.
did think that it was interesting that it kind of zeroes in on the fact that it's set 300 years after the PUBG universe. Um, like I didn't really know how to take that because I didn't think that it doesn't look like there's any correlation between it other
Yeah.
than what Silent Hill said. Are these, some people that were in PUBG and they just happen to be here now?
Yeah. The only reason why, like, because I wrote some of this talk, the only reason why I bring up this question is because I have seen some people say, like, just flat out, like, oh, simply because of the fact that it is connected to PUBG, they're just not going to support the game. And I think that's a bit too early to say as to whether or not this game is going to be worth supporting or not, because all we've seen is a teaser. We haven't actually seen any gameplay. We don't know really anything about this game outside of what's been said about it. So, for me at least, I think it's a more of a wait and see before we like jump to conclusions and say like this is like a definitive like stay the hell away from this game because it's simply connected to that, or um, like absolutely support it because it looks cool. Like I'm definitely intrigued and I'm definitely keeping my eye on it, but not personally, I'm not willing to like jump to any sort of conclusion simply based on that connection.
I think so long as they don't actually go through the, battle royale genre, I think that it will be all good. It does make me a little concerned that they're making the correlation between PUBG and this. But I mean, if it's supposed to be like Dead Space, then I don't see how it could be. So it's a weird thing that they would put those two things together.
And basically implying that
It's a little bit
there's-
like suspicious, but at the same time it's like, I don't know.
it's basically implying like Dead Space exists in PUBG. It wasn't for the legality behind it, which would be a funny thought to think about. Imagine Battle Royale when Necromorphs.
They're coming full circle. They're trying another attempt at Dead Space 2 multiplayer.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have Brandon read off number 2.
Okay, aside from the connection, what sort of concerns do you have for this game? That won't be good. I just hope the game just be good. Right now, then, since the game's literally like 2 years away, though, I think they probably showed the game like a little early. Because my problem is that people show games off early, and they won't be ready for like another 2 to 3 years. Because this happened recently with another project named Suicide Squad, right? That game's 2 years away. So it'll be nice to like say wait for an announcement trailer and get some gameplay to back it up.
I mean, I feel like having a teaser trailer for it right now isn't too bad. Like, it kind of gets people excited for what's coming. I know that it's like 2 years away, but I'm super excited for it. I'd still check it out. Um, I mean, I feel like there's been quite a few games in the past that have been shown like way early, and the game didn't come out for years after. But it was nice to see a trailer for it, and then see the gameplay as the game was like coming nearer to being released.
But there's also examples to the contrary, because now when you announce a game too early, it doesn't live up to the hype years later, or other factors come into play. I think a perfect balance is like wait till the game is at least close to finish and then release a trailer.
I do want to make a slight correction though. Technically, it would be coming out in 1 year because we're like borderline on 2021, and the game is supposed to release in 2022.
Well, we don't know when 2022 is going to come out. It could be literally end of the year. So
True.
Right. Could be in December.
Still, it's really only like about a 1 year gap per se. So
I was gonna say, yeah,
too long.
I don't really think that it's too. I mean, again, it could be at the end of 2022, but like I personally don't really see much of an issue with it.
this is hypothetically 2 years right there.
I will say that, like, as far as any concerns go, like, I guess my biggest concern is that they don't have like publisher interference like they did with EA doing like Dead Space, because that would be the biggest thing. Because I know like Dead Space had a lot of that as it was progressing into like a meta series and making like a bunch of different spin-offs, and of course like the sequels that we did get. So it is something that can be a bit concerning given the history with Dead Space, but there's potential that like as far as this game goes, like it could just be made as is with no publisher interference, and really the only thing we could expect or hope for at least is quality game out of it. But that, of course, we just have to wait and see for gameplay footage and potentially a demo or alpha or whatever, and kind of go from there.
Actually, to add on to that, I hope they don't. I hope like the head honcho here, because he did make the Dead Space brand as it is. I hope he's not trying to ride the coattails of Dead Space or try to be like dare I say the Keiji Inafune here, if you know what I mean. Those who are familiar with Mighty Number 9. Because I just hope that he made this project his own thing instead of just riding the coattails of Dead Space and risk making a clone to a point where it's unoriginal. You know what I mean?
That is actually a bit of a follow-up question.
Okay.
Perfect.
Did anybody else want to go on number 2 or?
I was just gonna follow up with Sir Brandel here.
Okay.
But that's question number 3, right?
Yeah. Does anybody else have the doc open, or is it just me and Brandon that has it open?
I can relink it if anybody needs it.
I have it open.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to read off number 3 for us?
Oh, sure. Do you think that this should fully be a successor to the Dead Space franchise, or do you think it would be best for the developers to focus on making a brand new sci-fi horror experience with some small nods and Easter eggs to Dead Space?
Latter, definitely. I think that it should just be a spiritual successor, honestly.
I agree. It should be a special successor. But I just hope that they're not trying too hard with it.
I mean, I'm quite happy with them doing their own brand new sci-fi horror, with the Easter eggs and the nods to Dead Space. But if they're gonna be a brand new sci-fi horror, they can't like make it too much like Dead Space. Like we already have like what looks like a health bar, like similar to the way Dead Space had it, which is cool. But like, how much more of that stuff, like little things, are gonna be in this?
I kind of feel the same way. I think it would be cool if it was a brand new horror experience. So currently I'm playing through the Dead Space series for the first time, and I'm not gonna say that it's not horrifying, but I definitely like, especially with this first this monster that we saw that seems it was horrifying in the trailer. I'm just hoping that they have other like terrifying creatures in it. Because this one was much bigger than like a necromorph, and I like, if it's gonna be new, I wouldn't mind like the small nods, but I definitely want like to be scared while playing it.
So, I'm kind of 50-50 on this because, obviously, like, kind of what, like, Brandon said, if they do a successor, it's kind of a risk of, like, they're just riding off the coattails of the success of said franchise they're making a successor of, and it might not live up to the potential or the hype that it has. But alternatively, it could be really good, and it might be the only way we could ever experience Dead Space 4. Of course, and I'm going to kind of bring up what Ren said, is that really the only other like successor that is in the works at the moment is a game called Negative Atmosphere, which ironically enough, I was talking to one of the devs from Negative Atmosphere recently, but it is one of the things of like, yeah, it's there, it's cool, it has potential, but like, is it just going to be this thing of like, oh, we're trying to be like this other game, but we're not doing the things that would make it good enough to stand out on its own, or we're not trying to improve upon the things that maybe were flawed in said previous franchise that is no longer here. So that is a big kind of risk, I guess. Alternatively, they could, again, do a whole new original sci-fi experience, but then there's the problem of, you know, them taking a risk with something new and maybe doing a little bit too much as far as like nods and Easter eggs with like the previous franchise, and at that point you start wondering, well, why not just make a successor to it? So it is kind of a 50-50 type of thing, in my opinion.
I almost feel like they should do a thing where I don't know if they would because of EA being the publisher of the Dead Space series, but I feel like they should do something similar to like what they did with Resident Evil, where they fully remake those old games so that there's a current gen version of all of those games, but also there's a different IP that they can move forward with at the same time.
Well, that's unlikely because EA being EA. I mean, the
Right.
fact that we get a Mass Effect remastered trilogy is good enough as is.
That's something special, that is.
Mhm. But anybody else got anything to add to this question? Going once, going twice. Sold. All right. Actually, I'll read this one off. Based on the Red Band trailer, how much gore do you expect to see from this game? And personally, I hope I see a lot.
Yeah, a lot, definitely.
I would like to see a lot as well. Especially with the way that they handled it was pretty brutal how the monster decided to take out the prisoner. So I wasn't expecting to see that, but now that I've seen it, I'm expecting to see a lot.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
expecting a lot. It was quite like drawn out, the scene, like showing quite a lot of close-ups and stuff, which made it very detailed. So I'm expecting quite a lot of gore from the rest of the game.
Mhm. All right. Anybody else? Anything else to add?
I'm thinking that I hope that they really try to like push the envelope, because it seems like that was always a running theme in the Dead Space series, is that it was just extremely visceral and brutal. And I think that there's not very many games that really do that anymore. So I'm hoping that it isn't just something where it's like a cutscene thing. I'm hoping that it really tries to like push the boundary in that aspect of like the whole horror genre, where it's not only is it scary, but it's like disgusting almost. Like it's just so in your face.
As you know, now I think about it, looking back, actually, I watched a like a documentary of some kind of the head honcho of the project. He was talking about his experience with Dead Space. He literally had like a diagram of like Isaac's body and had different sections of what would happen if a necromorph came in and cut you in half. Right. I figure like no, that same philosophy gonna apply here. I do hope so, because given the current technology today compared to yesteryear with the space trilogy, they could do something a little bit more gruesome and gory.
Is it made on the Unreal Engine, or what? What is it? Do we
I
even know?
don't know actually. I don't think they specify yet, but da, 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 da. I don't see any information. Mission. Question 4.
Okay, mission 4, got it. Based on the Red Band trailer, how much we think gore is in there? I don't know. Actually, I would think, given Dead Space, there's a lot of gore in Dead Space. So much to the point that it's actually been banned in I think 5 different countries or some shit like that. So I would assume they're gonna try to go for the kind of the same shock value of Dead Space, where there's just a bunch of gore, which, I mean, hey, that's cool for a horror game. I like seeing gore in a horror game, but it's all dependent on the publisher as well, because the publisher could just be telling them that they need to tone it down. So it really just depends. Are we good on this question?
Yeah, I think you can move on because we already answered the question where you're going.
Okay.
Number 5.
So, and I think this is one that Ren wrote. Do you think any ex-members of Visceral Games will support this project further, potentially jumping ship from EA? That is a good question. I know that on the actual website for Callisto Protocol, it does mention that a good portion of people that did work on Dead Space are working on this project. If there are any more people that have previously worked on it and were at Visceral Games, could. So I don't necessarily see it out of the realm of possibilities, but from my understanding, there's a good chunk of them already doing so. So we'll see.
I would also imagine that it's not that luxurious to work for EA to begin with, so they probably would have pretty good incentive to go somewhere else if they have the opportunity.
That's a really good point too, because considering the fact that they had a lot of studio interference with Dead Space, maybe this time they could potentially work on something that they really want to with minimal studio interference or none at all. So it is something that we'll just have to kind of wait and see on. Okay, and then Versa, do you mind reading number 6?
Sure. Is there any gameplay mechanic from Dead Space that you would like to see reimagined for the Callisto protocol? Examples include stasis, zero gravity levels, maintaining air, severing all enemy limbs, a skill tree, etc.
Hey, that's a good question, actually. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to judge, honestly.
I feel like I kind of answered this for free. I don't mind the occasional nods. Like I did say, it already looks like we have a health bar on the neck, but it can't have all of them. Severing enemy limbs would probably be and a skill tree is in most games, so that's kind of given. But if it has stuff like stasis as well, I feel like it would be too much like Dead Space, even if it's trying to be its own thing. But if it doesn't have the Isaac Clarke stomp, then I'm not happy.
Yeah, that's the thing they have to keep. That's the thing they have to keep for sure.
You gotta be able to stomp him in the nuts. Come on, man.
Come on.
Isaac's stomp is so fucking powerful. He could stomp the ground and hit somebody up in the fucking ceiling. Come on now. This is a standard. I expect this.
It's definitely brutal.
Actually, I want to ask you guys, how do you feel about the to kind of go off of this question at least, how do you guys feel about the upgrade system from Dead Space, and where do you think it's flawed? And what do you think they could improve upon to make it better?
Honestly, I think you should just take the system from Dead Space 3. Is to gather up resources and make your upgrades in the way you want to your suit. Because personally, I was not fond of how it was done in 1 or 2. like you click these little things like notes, whatever, and insert your thing those little devices into those slots to get the upgrade you want, and then turn around and spend more resources on top of that. I feel like that was a bit much. So personally, I hope they don't do that for Callisto protocol. I keep want to say project. So it should be in a similar vein of Dead Space 3, if not something a little bit more standout.
So I guess to kind of go off of that, what I would like to kind of see is like a bit of a hybrid. Maybe like a more, traditional like upgrade system, but like also have the ability to, like customize your weapon how you want based on the like sort of like attachments or gear that you can come across. So that way you can like personalize each weapon based on your particular playstyle. Basically what I'm trying to say is like you have like a set like standard of weapons, but then like you can enhance them in different ways, kind of like Dead Space 3, but also kind of like maybe like Dead Space 1 and 2, like essentially like a hybrid. Just maybe drop obviously the like node upgrades that were literally just there but didn't upgrade anything really.
No. Especially we have those empty slots, like that's just literally wasting resources.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like get rid of those, but like keep the actual like upgrades for that stuff, but then on top of that, have maybe not necessarily a crafting system, but definitely something where like like in Dead Space 3 at least, you can have the plasma cutter have like the rotating tool, or you could be like absolutely ridiculous and be like, I'm gonna put a fucking second plasma cutter on my plasma cutter, or I'm gonna fucking have a chainsaw on a shotgun, whatever, right? Like go crazy with it. Obviously not too crazy to where it becomes an action game, but definitely something where it makes sense in the context of like the type of game that we're trying to play here.
I kind of like it when they do like modular systems like that, where you can just things on things. My only issue with the Dead Space 1 and 2 is that the weapon seemed very formulaic in the fact that like there was very specific meta for very specific scenarios and situations. So it's like, well, in this situation you have to use this gun or whatever. I'm hoping that they kind of get away from that a little bit to where you can just make your own kind of thing and then run through the game with it rather than have to use certain things in certain situations.
Yeah, Dead Space 3 actually does that. Like you make your own freaking meta, basically.
Right.
Like, oh, is this useful? Yeah, guess what? Use it. Unlike in 1 and 2, especially in the first game, because there's certain guns that are just not useful at all and pretty much take up space, especially the ammo type.
Yeah, I think wasn't the Force gun one of those guns that like just was,
Dreaded.
like, there, but like
Yeah, it was
think,
there.
ironically enough, it's actually better in 3 because you can turn it into a fucking acid like rocket launcher. Which
Yeah, you could do that, or like instead of making like an AOE, you could do like a linear path to just do extra damage compared to the big wave. Like you could do a lot more with the Force gun in 3 than you could do in 1 and 2.
Well, I guess it also kind of depends too, because like we don't know if we're like in Dead Space we were mostly playing an engineer, right? So I guess there's the thing of like, are we going to be playing some sort of engineer again, or are we going to be playing like say like a I don't know, like a cop or a security guard or like a military type of person, right? Who
Let's just say that if we don't play as an engineer, right, there is definitely we saw the book of engineer, right? Like even if it was
Yeah.
Easter egg not though, like that could be used as a reference to like, okay, I could use this to craft stuff, just to copy the notes,
For sure, yeah. Like I guess that the potential is there for it in some capacity. I don't know if they would do it exactly like say Dead Space 3, but definitely they could base the upgrades around like, hey, your resources are limited, so like use what you got and maybe like make some makeshift attachments that otherwise you wouldn't have access to. So it's kind of a, I guess it's kind of a situation of like, it could be a bit of a hybrid system of both, like your upgrade system is kind of like that crafting system, but at the same time it's not. So I don't know. I don't know how other people who've, I don't know if me and Brandon are the only people that have played Dead Space 3 in here or not, so I don't know how other people feel about it.
I've played it. I just don't remember really how the upgrade system works for free. But I wouldn't mind it going back to 1 and 2s with the nodes. But because with the 1 and 2, you just kind of have to like hold on to them and like decide, like try and decide like exactly like a path through the skill tree almost. Just so you don't waste nodes.
Yeah, which is exactly why I just didn't personally enjoy it. Like, if I do the wrong thing, you just lose like resources. Like, I'd be honest, it'd be one thing if I had like upgrades in every single node that was available. That'd be one thing though. But I'm risking of just filling an empty slot and get nothing for it, or get something that's garbage as an upgrade. And it's not really worth the reward. I'm going anyway to get nodes.
Yeah. Actually, here's another kind of like question related to upgrades. So do you all think that they're gonna have a similar like kind of like armor system to Dead Space, or do you think it's gonna be a little bit more like subdued, like because we don't even know if like we're playing like say like a prisoner who might have to like find some type of like protection like body armor or like just even better clothing for the situation that he's in or she's in. So what do you guys think about that?
Well, honestly, I think it's a little too soon to tell on that regard. Just like, I guess the same vein of the weapons and whatnot, we don't know what we're doing yet since it's no gameplay. But if I had like say hypotheticals or hopes, I would say maybe something similar to what like Dead Space said, but not too close. Like just like do something different, I guess. Wow, while being in the same vein, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't think that it would be as serious, if it were to be like Dead Space. Like I said, I only played the first one, so I'm not really sure about the second or third one. But from what we saw from the trailer, we saw that there were, you know, like robots that were kind of patrolling around the area. So would we be able to find armor if there were any like humans that were not prisoners and kind of monitoring the ones who were kind of trapped there? Um, I don't really know, and I feel like it would definitely make it a lot more scary if we didn't have like like armored like crazy armor to like protect us from whatever we're gonna end up fighting.
Hmm. Okay, so I think we're pretty much good on this end. So, are there any final thoughts on this project?
I hope we get more information on it real soon. Because I am so far I am liking what I'm seeing from the little teaser trailer. I just want more. Like, give us more information.
Mm-hmm.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat where like I do like what I'm seeing and I do want to see more. Definitely probably going to be something that I, within that time probably I'll want to pick it up for like PS5 or even get it for PC, but we'll see. Definitely something I am keeping my eye on because we don't have a whole lot of like sci-fi horror games at the moment. I think most of what we're getting right now is like kind of like paranormal horror, but I don't know. That's at least what I've been noticing. So it would be really cool to see some more like space sci-fi horror. So, oh, Ren made up a good point. I guess people will say no to multiplayer in Dead Space. If it's competitive multiplayer, fuck no. But like, you know what? I'll put it like this: if they did maybe like a similar thing to like Resident Evil 6's what was it? It was it Agent Hunt mode? The
Yeah.
one where you play as
Yes.
like any of the BOWs. If they did some shit like that, or like you can play as like one of the fucking monsters and like hunt down a player or some shit like that, I think that would be really fucking cool.
Yeah,
As
there's
long as it's done right. Because I'll be pissed if I'm playing the hardest difficulty and only have 3 save and somebody just invade me. Like at that point, I'll be unplugging the Ethernet cord and just play offline. Like, nah, I'm not having that
To
shit.
be fair, RE6, at least when that game did it, they did give you the option to just turn that off if you didn't want to like play with that on. So
Yeah, but Let's Catcomb's nice though. I expect these guys to be masochists about it.
oh yeah,
I feel
That
like
is true.
other games have done that as well. Like I'm pretty sure Dying Light did something like that as well.
Yeah, they did.
Where you could join as the monster or infected or whatever it is and hunt the players down. But again, I think that might have also been something you could like switch on and off when you played it. So,
The thing with that one too is the monster, the zombie dude was like super overpowered. He would like one hit kill everybody. So hopefully it's not that extreme, but yeah, you could turn it.
Oh, actually, I think what is it? The other thing that they could do is co-op, and I know like that's something like when you bring that up in a horror game, a lot of people like shudder at the idea of like co-op in a horror game, but like if done right, you could do it where like you're very heavily relying on each other and your resources are scarce between both you and the cooperative player. Granted, as far as I'm aware, this game is supposed to be single player, but if they did want to do like a cooperative like update in the future, they could. So that is something they could take potentially from like Dead Space 3 even, because Dead Space 3, despite it not being the best Dead Space in the series in terms of like some of the things that EA had like kind of fucked with, it did have some pretty cool ideas. So
Well, what they could always do is they could do like there's a single player campaign and then there's like a short little. Some games will just do like a co-op specific campaign that isn't as extensive, but it's its own thing.
yeah, for sure. So I think that's about it. Unless if anybody else has anything to say before we wrap things up. Gonna take that as a no.
don't think
but,
so. No.
Nope.
So
No, sir.
anyway, I completely forgot to introduce you guys in the beginning. So we're gonna do outros slash kind of intros slash outros. But yeah, I'm gonna just kind of go down the list. So Ginge, who are you and where can we find you?
Okay, so I'm Ginge. You can follow me on Twitter at BlitzGinge, and you can follow me on YouTube at Agent Orange Gaming. I've just finished a Dead Space 2 hardcore run. If you like Dead Space, it's all on there.
Alrighty. Ren's here with us in spirit, but he's there. Brandon.
Unfortunately. No, what's up? Okay,
Yeah.
you can find me on Twitter at Immortal Brendel. Why? Because it's none of your damn business.
Alrighty, and then Versa, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/VersaVulture24 and on Twitter at Desiree_Veronica.
Alrighty, and then last but not least, we have Violent Tail. Where can we find you?
I have a YouTube channel that's Violent Hill, but also my main one where I do like gameplay and other things. It's mostly under the name Suicide, which is also the same as my Twitch and my Twitter. So that's where you can find me.
Alrighty, and then you guys know me as biodevil_Dom. You guys can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Although I'm not really uploading consistently at the moment. Right now I'm doing like mostly Twitch streams, ironically enough. So if you guys are bored, I guess you guys can jump over to my Twitch. I'm currently doing a Persona 3 FES playthrough, blind no less. So that is something you guys can go check out. I try to stream during my off days, so usually anywhere between Wednesday to Saturdays. But yeah. Anyway, this has been another IAS trailer analysis, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next one. I can't talk for some reason. Anyway, bye. Are you good, Ren?